Have you ever noticed how hard it is to breathe deeply when you don't feel safe? How your body stays tight, your mind stays guarded, and your heart never fully rests? Today, we're going to be talking about something every trauma survivor longs for: a safe place to breathe. And it's not just a safe home, but it's a safe internal world where your peace doesn't feel like a trap and your rest doesn't feel dangerous.
Welcome to Life Reassembled. This is the podcast where we learn how to reassemble our lives. I'm Julie Renee. I'm a life coach specializing in trauma recovery and a speaker. Together, we're going to be exploring what it really means to reassemble our lives on the rock after we've spent our entire lives piecing it together on sand. Here, we're going to talk about healing the mind, renewing the spirit, and organizing the parts of our lives that were once overwhelmed by complete chaos. Each episode is a space for reflection, faith, and practical steps for living with peace and intention. So, take a deep breath with me, settle in with some warm coffee, and let's begin reassembling our lives, piece by piece, together.
So why does safety feel so foreign after trauma? Trauma teaches our body how to stay alert. Even after leaving the situation, our nervous systems will still scan for danger, and it's a constant battle. It takes a very long time for our bodies to calm down and realize that we are safe. It's not just about the location that you're at, because you should be and hopefully are in a safe place, but it's about your mindset, the state of being, because sometimes your mind can replay certain things and certain images as you're recovering and as you heal. A lot of people, they don't realize how long it takes for our bodies to relearn how to be calm. Our minds need to be safe in order for us to function and to reassemble our lives in the direction that we are attaining. So, what does a safe place to breathe really mean to us? Let's break this down. There's external safety, of course, a peaceful home. There's no yelling, there's no threats, there's no unpredictable behavior that we are encountering. There's no control over your environment. You have the privacy and the space to think and to do without being judged or criticized. You're surrounded by calmness overall and not so much chaos. Then there's the internal safety, which is obviously very key as well. Feeling grounded in your body. Knowing that you won't be attacked emotionally, spiritually, mentally, or physically. Feeling steady instead of feeling triggered. Being able to rest without any fear. Trusting your own thoughts again. Realizing that you can process your own thoughts, even the ones that aren't correct. You can get a handle on them on your own without being told what to think and how to think. Having a safe place to breathe begins on the outside to get you into the environment so you can internally, inside of you, become safe as well. So be aware of the signs that you haven't felt safe in a long time. Do you struggle to relax even when you're alone? Do you feel guilty resting or slowing down? Do you keep busy so you don't think or feel too much? Do sudden noises still startle you intensely? Do you feel like you must always be on guard in some way or in another? These are signs your body still hasn't learned how to have a safe place. And for me, it was this butterfly feeling that I just was completely nervous all the time and scared that when I looked anywhere, he was going to be there for some reason. And it took me a while to really gain safety, knowing that I was in a safe place and he couldn't get to me. So we have to start reintroducing safety to our bodies and get that taken care of in order for us to reassemble the rest of our lives. Stabilizing our nervous systems. So here are some practical tools to reintroduce safety to your body and to restabilize your nervous system. Deep, slow breathing. This is so beneficial for anything that you're going through. It's amazing how just calming down in that moment can just change everything. And it changes the direction that you're going to be going. Even if it's for a short period of time, it's extremely powerful. Exercising. This is a great way for your body to release the stress that it's been storing up and to release it in a very healthy way. Having a weighted blanket or putting pressure on your body physically that's safe actually feels amazing. Doing gentle stretching, having warm showers, and of course prayer, scripture reading, scripture memorization, walks, things like this help really reset your nervous system in a way that is safe. And to rebuild our internal safety. Now, affirmations can be taken one way or another. So let me clarify what I mean by affirmations. The best way to do this would be with the scripture memorization, things that are true about yourself. I use affirmation as a way to remind yourself consistently, this is who I am. This is where I am going. I am safe and I am grounded. I am at peace with my situation. And you're just like reaffirming where you are at and where you're going. And again, if you need this, because some people need that constant reminder. So don't be afraid to have it. Listen to the best podcast for your mind, for your body, to get yourself back on track. You have to identify any triggers. And remember not to judge yourself when you have those triggers. It's good. Your body is letting you know, hey, this is still an issue. So listen to your body. That's a huge, huge thing that you were not able to do while you were in the trauma situation. Your body was trying to survive, so you couldn't function in a lot of normal ways. So listening to your body and what your body needs and trying to adhere to that as best as you can is going to help tremendously with restabilizing your internal system. Relearning how to rest and have emotional patience is going to be very, very key. Being patient with yourself, being patient with others, being patient with your kids. You're relearning how to live. You're reassembling your peace. You're reassembling your calmness. And maybe you never had this even prior to the trauma. Or maybe you've lived your whole life in the trauma. So you're not necessarily relearning. You're starting from the very beginning without having any reference to anything that was calm or peaceful in prior to the trauma. So the goal and key is to teach your body how to do it correctly. That's safe, that's going to be healthy, and in the right direction. And you're going to be so grateful when you get to the other side and doing this for yourself. Continue to create external spaces of peace. Decluttering your home sounds overwhelming to some, but again, do it a small piece at a time. We will be talking about organization and things like that to help you and give you points on how to do this. But that really helps. Anytime you can get rid of anything that's, I'm going to say, trash in your mind and trash in your home, getting rid of all that just really cleanses you completely. Clean your car, go get a car wash. Even that alone just helps boost your mood. Adding really small comforts, of course, within your budget, and we'll talk about that another time as well, but having soft lighting, certain blankets, calming scents. Do what you can in your situation, but whatever brings you happiness and peace that is healthy and is part of that reassurance that you're going for, I'm 100% for it. Limit your chaos, limit your noise, and limit your emotional drains. We've talked about this before, to not add unnecessary stress and unnecessary chaos and unnecessary noise to your life. Try to get rid of what you can. We talked about previously on our Christmas episode about notifications on your phone. That triggers something, and it's actually not only just a dopamine hit, but it triggers this emotional impatience. Oh, I have to check my phone. Oh, somebody's trying to get a hold of me. And having that, I'm not going to say addiction to your phone, but that constant pull when you get that notification is actually draining your energy. And it's all of a sudden attention, 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 and that's draining. You are in charge of your time. And the more that you reassemble your time and your time management, the healthier you will be. Reassembling how you produce your life moving forward is going to be so tremendous to your mental health, your mental clarity, and reassembling your life the way you intended it, the way you want it to be. So just pay attention. Where is there additional noise? Now, if you have littles, they're just noisy in general, right? But how can you create a calm space? Give them an opportunity. Okay, this is where we're going to be loud, and this is where we're going to have quiet time. Organize your life in such a way. Now, again, if it's completely like starting from scratch or it is very chaotic, it's going to take small movements, small choices, one thing at a time. I'm always a component for going after the most stressful first, going after the biggest hurdle first, the biggest financial pain first. Go after the biggest one, because if you can go after the hardest thing that you're trying to reassemble, everything else will get easier. You'll already have a system, you'll know how to do it, and then you'll create a new rhythm or system on how to eliminate certain things out of your life. And then you will realize that you don't really miss them as you move on forward, which is always our goal, is to get rid of what we don't need and then bring in what we do need, and reassembling our life in the way that God created us for. And He didn't create us for checking our phones every time it dings. That's just background noise at this point. Other things we can do as we talk about eliminating and bringing in is certain relationships into your life. Now, it's interesting how the enemy works, because he's paying attention to who you have and who you don't have in your life. And as I was reassembling my life after trauma, he kept bringing in these people who looked like they were the right people to have in my life, but their true colors were starting to show. Their fruits were starting to taste. And I could tell, like, this is a little bitter. This isn't as sweet as I thought it was. And, sugar-coated or whatever it was. And I was so glad that God removed these people from my life quicker than I could catch up with it. And we have to be careful, especially as we're moving forward, how people, it's so sad, but there's other people who are going to be attracted to that and try to take that for themselves and be selfish with your new identity, with who you're trying to be. And as you're healing, this is going to be a very vulnerable stage and a very vulnerable season where you should be saying no to as much as you can until you can get yourself figured out, until you can get on the right track a little bit more mentally, so you can judge people for their character better. And even after a year, I thought I had enough time, but there's so many people that I started getting rid of, and I was so thankful that God just was able to get them out of my life quickly. And like I said, He removed somebody out of my life before I even by the time I caught up to hey, I don't think I should have them in my life, they were gone. And the devil's trying to ruin what you're creating, because his plan was interrupted by your confidence to leave the trauma, to step out on your own. And now his plan is ruined. He can't use you the way he did before. So he's going to come after you very strongly right when you remove yourself from trauma. So having this peace is so imperative to reclaiming your territory that God gave you, and to purposely say no to certain people and say yes to those who you can trust. And if you don't know who you can trust, it's okay to say no, not right now. Can I reach out to you at another time? You can be nice about it, but you can say no. And you have to protect that until you can get to a headspace where you feel comfortable moving forward and you're able to have people in and out of your lives more comfortably. Now I'm in a position almost 3 years later where I'm able to do that. I'm able to say yes. I'm able to say no. And sometimes I say yes, I'm like, oh, that wasn't the right choice. But then I'm able to turn around and go, okay, you know what, thanks, but no thanks. And then I move on. Because I have a mission. I have a goal. I'm aligning with God's truth and where He's having me. And I've seen where the devil has distracted me and taken me off course multiple times in different ways. And of course, now the course that I'm on It looks different than what God originally planned, but I'm still back on there. I have a little bit more experience now backing me up. I have a little bit more trauma now than God wanted for my life originally. But I'm here now, and I'm not going back, and I'm not getting distracted. I'm not going off track. And I want that for all of you guys. It is not an easy journey. Like I said, it took 3 years to get to where I am now, to be in this position. And I know there's more to come. I know there's going to be more adversaries. I know there's going to be more distractions that are trying to pull me away. And so my hope and my goal and my prayer for you is that you have discernment as you move forward, reassembling your life after trauma, reassembling your peace and your safety, because that is so imperative, to be in a safe place where they can't come after you. And obviously you have to protect your physical space. I'm a key component in that. But also your mental space. Every single time you think about them, they're still robbing you of your peace. Every time you're trying to blame them, or you're thinking back on a situation or whatever it may be, you're letting them still in your lives. You're still letting them in your headspace. And your headspace is valuable real estate. So be aware of your thoughts and dump the trash. If this trauma was caused by certain people, dump the trash. Don't allow them to continue taking up space in your mind and in your thoughts, because that takes up time, it takes up energy. And then what good is it for you not to be with them physically, but you're still there with them mentally? So it'll take a while, because they've been your whole life for so long. It's going to take a while to reassemble how we do our thoughts. And we did do a podcast about being productive with our thoughts and how to do that. But I want to add to that right here with, again, removing the unnecessary. Forgiveness goes a long way, and that will really help you move forward in the direction that you're attaining. And so forgive them. And anytime that those thoughts come, again, we don't have a lot of control over our first thoughts usually, but we do have control over our second thoughts. And so if that person comes to your mind, don't allow that thought to go on a rabbit trail where like an hour, 2 hours later, you realize like, wait, oh my gosh, what just happened? I've been thinking about this person or this situation or this event for how long? It's just like scrolling on your phone. It's the same thing. Your mind is like replaying whatever it needs to maybe deal with the trauma or whatever it may be. But there's a time and a place to do that. And the best time and place to do that is with God. Because He was there. He is with you. And so the healthiest way to deal with those thoughts is to come and be with God during that time. Be like, hey, God, I'm thinking about this. This is what's coming to my mind. And the two of you guys can just work that out together in a safe environment. But you have to provide that. Make a space for it. Don't allow the enemy to put it in your head when it's not convenient. Because guess what? He's never going to do it at a convenient time. He's going to bring these thoughts in while you're trying to do other things, while you're trying to accomplish other goals, while you're in the middle of something that has nothing to do with your past. I'm all about acknowledging the truth and coming to peace with the past and the trauma. But there has to be a safe place and a safe time to do it. And you, again, are in control of your time. And you decide, okay, now is the time to think about this. Now is the time to work this through. But then when you're done, have that closure and then move on. That is creating a safe place for your mind and your body to do what it needs to do to heal in those areas. But don't allow the enemy, don't allow him. He's already had enough. He's done his job. We are cutting him off. No more. No more. Your peace is too valuable. Your brain is too valuable. You are too precious to have this continue. And that is a way of setting boundaries for yourself. And it's the very beginning of self-discipline. Because trauma survivors need self-discipline. They need to know when to say yes and when to say no. And it is a skill. It is not easy if you've never done it before, or if you're in a situation where you're surviving a traumatic situation. You have to remember that God's presence isn't usually loud. It's usually a whisper. And so having the Bible verse that really helped me get through a lot of things about how he will wrap you with his wings and you're going to find refuge. I experienced that while I was going through the trauma. I was at so much peace in my heart and in my mind while my second husband was saying things to me, trying to get my mind to be in line with him and the evil deeds that he was playing out in his mind. And yet, internally, in my heart, I was in the refuge of God. And the Lord was protecting me. And I really felt like giant wings were just protecting me and holding me, keeping me safe from the enemy. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. And so I pray that over you as you continue these things. Find the refuge in God because he is there. And you don't have to have a physical encounter with God. Having a mental one is way more valuable. Because that is part of what our bodies are going to decease. Our bodies are going to be taken up with this earth. Our bodies will be no more eventually. But our souls are what go with Jesus. Guys, we covered a lot. I want you to live a life that you deserve. I want you to be able to breathe and slow down and find rest for your minds and your hearts. You deserve a beautiful home, inside and out, internally and externally. I want you to find a place where you can breathe without having any fear, because God doesn't give us a spirit of fear, but of power and of sound mind. If you do not feel safe yet, if you're not in a safe place, please feel free to reach out and I will help you in your situation. And again, the good news is if you have a way to listen to this podcast, you have a way of Googling and researching a safe place for you in your situation. So please do not hesitate to research and do on your own wherever you're located to find a safe place if you need it to. But I will help you anywhere I can. As you're rebuilding this, I encourage you guys to go check out my website. On there, I have a free identity blueprint. It's a great resource. I don't even have a way to collect your emails on this. I really wanted to make it as easy as possible for anybody to do this. And you do it on your own. You can download the pages if you want to. It's all there on the website. And it's a great way to kind of see where you're at with your identity and how to get to the next stage. And if you're ready for the next stage, I would love to mentor you. We're doing one-on-one coaching and group coaching. There are signups for both of those. And there's a wait list as well. So go ahead and take the identity blueprint first because that is a requirement before coaching. We also have an awesome Facebook group that is still growing, and it's a great community where you can ask your questions, get some answers, and just kind of find peace and solace. I know there's a lot of community groups when it comes to trauma, surviving, and things of that nature. But I really wanted this to be a place where people can discuss and it be a very close-knit group for everyone to find friends. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. I love all of you. Thank you so much for your support, your love. Comment below what struck you the most, what you're going to work on first. And I would love to hear your growth and where you were and where you're going to be. I would love to hear what God has called you. And if there's any way I can come alongside you and support that, I'm there. I'll be there for you guys. All my love. Take care.
Thank you for joining us for today's conversation on Life Reassembled. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who is also rebuilding their life. because none of us are meant to do this alone. To keep growing with us, join us on the Life Reassembled Facebook community. Check out our free identity blueprint on our website, or learn more about our coaching and upcoming courses at reassembledlife.com. That's re-assembledlife.com. You can also connect with me on Instagram at Life Reassembled for daily encouragement and resources. Remember that healing doesn't happen overnight, but every small step forward is part of reassembling your life.